I love you. Welcome back to the couch, potatoes. I am the Green Traveler from Gorsh.
And I am the Faceless Leone. This is Green and Faceless on the Couch, a podcast about movies and TV. And we are back with the Studio Ghibli playlist. Here we go.
Everybody loves it. We love it.
Yeah. Kiki's Delivery Service.
Another one I had not seen.
What? Really? I have seen Kiki several times, so I'm surprised to hear. Yeah, I figured this was one that I had watched at the individual's house that we said that we were watching these things at.
Yeah, I feel like that house typically opted for the more action-oriented ones. Okay. I don't remember seeing this one there.
Okay. I kind of recall watching this one with them. But anyways, I have seen it quite often. I do believe it's one of my wife's favorites out of the bunch. And
after one viewing, I can say it's certainly one of my favorites already.
All right, nice. Yeah, it's like, you know, these are all amazing in their own right? But
oh yeah. I feel like with this one, as I was watching it, a lot more of the background messages were very clear. You know, it's like a lot of times when you read somebody's story or watch somebody's movie, there are things there to analyze, and you could look into it, and you know, sometimes maybe you're looking into nothing, and you know, the creator is laughing at you. Other times it's real. The creator was thinking about that when they were writing it. I feel like this one was very relevant, very, like, you know, I feel like it's very relatable, and it's everything's on the surface level where you're just like, yes, this is all, you know, I can agree with this because I'm going through these motions in my own life.
What I was going to say about it is that it is one of the more put together out of these. Yeah. And so let's go ahead and jump into the synopsis of this one. Like I said, it is pretty well put together, and its plot is pretty straightforward too, compared to some of these. Which, I mean, that's like half the point of some of them is a little bit of madness. Right? So that's fine.
Did we mention that it's another Hayao Miyazaki?
I don't know that we have. I don't think we did. But yes, this is written, directed, and produced by Hayao Miyazaki. And so I don't know what version I saw first, but we noticed that before we started recording that there was a couple of releases from Disney, and then another English version that came out in 1990. The original came out in 89 in Japan, and Streamline Pictures did it. But then Disney, when they were doing all the other ones, they did it once, and then it came out again in 2010, which I know I've seen that version a couple times. But I may have seen one of the earlier versions when we were kids. I'm not sure. But
yeah, I feel like we had to have watched the re-released and the 2010 re-released, because it seemed like we did. We definitely did. Yeah. But anyhow, what I wanted to talk about that is that the second build character who is Gigi, the magic cat that Kiki can talk to for most of the movie, is played by American comedian Phil Hartman. Well, I say American, he's Canadian born, but SNL comedian. Anyways, he was a lot of people probably know this, but I don't think a lot of people younger than us know that he was murdered by his wife at some point. Oh. But that's fair.
Yeah, and I knew it was I thought in you were the 90s. Going to
say one of his film roles.
Oh.
I thought you were going to say, like, he was on The Simpsons, or...
I mean, he was on The Simpsons. He was,
Said he went for the even crazier one.
Hey, you know, I just wanted to say that the reason why I was like, when I saw that the Disney version came out in 2010, I was like, but I thought Phil Hartman died a long time before that. And he did. he died like right when they released the other version.
Yeah.
So it is pretty crazy that this is like one of the latter things that he did. But yeah. Besides that, moving on. I just wanted to bring that out in the beginning because I knew I was going to do it at some point, and I'm sorry that it was jarring.
No, I don't, like, for some reason it's like I knew that fact, but I was not aware of that fact. Like, you know, it wasn't something that was like on the forefront of my mind. So that really just came out of left field, and I was just like, whoa. Because that was not where I thought you were heading.
Oh my gosh.
Man. Anyways, Kiki is a young witch. She is like 13, 14 years old, very young, like teenage witch.
Yes.
Witch to be, I guess. You know, she's kind of like a witch student.
Witch in training.
You know. Witch in training. There you go. That's the right words for it that we just read not 10 minutes ago.
That's all right.
My brain space is great, man. My memory is strong.
Yeah.
But yeah, she heads off with her black cat Gigi to find her own city to be, to be the witch of, to help out however she can, however her skills can best, help the city. And she's very traditional in that she has like, the black robe. She's got but a little bit of that modern flair with a little red bow.
She's got to have her dad's radio.
Yeah, and she's got the radio hanging off the broom. Yeah. I love it. And
she also leaves a whole month earlier than she had initially planned and decided to do so the night of. And they have to leave on a full moon to start their training. And they have to leave their hometown and find a new town. I don't know if they're supposed to be the only witch in that town. That seems a little impractical. But they are supposed to find out their new skills. And so far, the only thing that Kiki can really do is fly. And her mom was a potion maker. Her mom, Kokiri. And Kokiri was originally played by Miyako Nobusawa and Kath Sauchi. Now, I mention these people because they seem like they could be important in those first roles. Like they do I'm just trying to speak to the caliber of the movie. Like they didn't stop making their parents characters just because they're only in the beginning is what I'm trying to say. And Okino, her father, is Koichi Miura, and also Jeff Bennett in the version we watched. And then I don't think we mentioned the Japanese actors for Kiki and Gigi. That is Minami Takayama and Rei Sakuma.
And I don't think we even mentioned that Kirsten Dunst was Kiki. Maybe we did.
Oh, I think you did, but maybe you didn't. Okay. But a very young Kirsten Dunst voice, which was another thing that confused me when I saw that it was 2010, and that was because it was when she was actually young. And I'm like, it sounds like Kirsten Dunst, but like she doesn't sound like that.
It was really funny because I looked up the cast beforehand because I was just like, ooh, I want to kind of like spoil this for myself so that I know what I'm looking for. And I saw Kirsten Dunst was like that, and Phil Hartman were the only names I really recognized. And I was just like, okay, Kirsten Dunst, like I'm ready to hear this. And then like immediately right off the bat, I was like, yeah, that's the Kirsten Dunst I know. But I saw 2010, and her voice has changed. So I was really confused for like 5 minutes because I was just like, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, it makes sense that they re-released it because this is a young Kirsten.
Yes, a very young Kirsten. But not to say that her performance is lacking in any way, but it's just it's just a very young sounding person. Like it sounds
she passes as a teenager.
So she meets some people. The big one that she meets is Asano, and I was not trying to crack a joke at her, but she is very pregnant.
And I was gonna say, man, wow.
It is played by Kiiko Toda and Tress MacNeil, and I don't know her necessarily, but I really love Asano. Asano is
Asano's a beautiful character.
Yes, just the best person to bump into if you're gonna land your broom in town.
Yeah, like if you've ever made a big trip to like a new city and you've been kind of like scared about it and having anxiety, and then you kind of daydream about the future, you always daydream about running into somebody like Osono.
Oh, yes.
Somebody who's just like takes you under your wing and is just like, I'll be here for 100%. You. I'll support you. I'll be very kind to you and get you settled. And
she owns a bakery, and it has this interesting name that I would not know how to say with umlauts. And she runs it with who ends up being her husband, but I don't know what his name is. But he's a very sweet, quiet man who does pan tricks and stuff. And I like him very much. And they kind of just adopt Kiki together. It's like their practice of having a teenager before their babies are born. Yeah, and
she helps her. She helps her set up a delivery service outside of her. Well, I guess at her business.
Yes,
at her bakery.
It runs congruently, and in fact, I'm sure that Osono uses her to deliver baked goods as well.
Yeah, and she makes money off of it. She's not using her just to like, you're living under my roof. Go deliver this.
Kiki works at the bakery for room and board.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And she's very bored. It's like, if you've ever gotten that, like, this movie reflects the experience of leaving, like, of going to college, kind of like leaving your parents' home for the first time. Like, you go to a new city, you're a little nervous and everything. Your first job, you're kind of excited, but at the same time, you're kind of fucking bored, because usually it's just like retail or something. And there's not like something happening all the time.
Right. There is just definitely this scene where she is just super bored behind the counter, waiting for the phone to ring. Please let me have a delivery so I could go outside this goddamn bakery that I promised to watch.
There's one important character he's not stalking her. He's not a weirdo.
Oh, yes.
But he is really interested by her. Mm-hmm. He kind of has a crush on her. His name is Tombo.
Yes.
Tombo is played by Kappei Yamaguchi and Matthew Lawrence in the Disney version.
Matthew Lawrence, as known from Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And also Boy Meets World.
Yeah, I didn't watch that as much.
Yeah, I watched that some, and I think I recognize the character that he is. But definitely from Mrs. Doubtfire. I watched that a lot.
Yeah, I remember him now from Doubtfire, yeah. Interesting. I don't think I would have recognized his voice. His voice, though.
No, never in a million years. But now that I know who it was, I can.
But Tombo is obsessed with aviation, and he's part of an aviation club.
Very cute
a group
kid.
of geeky nerd teenagers and everything, who they just love flying things. And of course, you have a resident witch come to town, flying in on her broomstick. Her skill is flying.
Yeah.
Of course they're immediately going to be like, "Oh my God, we want you. We need to be friends. We need to be friends with you in that way. Not you know what I mean.
But
we want you
he
as part
does
of the
come
club.
on a bit strong, at least for Kiki's taste. Kiki wants nothing to do with him at first, but it turns out because she thinks he's cute, and she also thinks that maybe he's making fun of her. She doesn't quite feel comfortable in the black dress. They know at a certain point. And anyways, she realizes that she really likes him with Asona's help. There's some misadventures though with the delivery service before their relationship really kicks off. For one, she is supposed to, her first delivery, she's supposed to deliver a toy. And this is like Gigi's big scene where she substitutes Gigi for the toy, and
because they're the exact same.
Yeah, and the family dog, likes Gigi more than the kid that she delivered it to. And
I bet if there's a dog voice, it's gonna be I don't see one.
I don't see. You don't see Frank Welker, huh?
Nope, I don't see Frank.
Damn. I mean,
I was kind of assuming because I thought the dog's name was Max, so I was looking for a Max, but then I was like, I guess I could just look for Frank Welker.
The dog's name was Jeff, I swear.
It was Jeff.
Ket was the kid's name, by the way, and that was played by Pamela Adlon, who, if you recognize the voice, you might have from King of the Hill. It was Bobby Hill.
Oh my god. I did not recognize the voice. That's hilarious. Oh my so fucking funny. God, that's so good. I did see another name that I recognize, but only because of a Game Grumps skit.
Yeah.
And that is in the pursuit of getting the toy back, because she dropped the toy over a forest and then upset the crows that were living there because the crows thought she was stealing an egg. It's a long story. But when she goes back to the forest to try to retrieve the toy while Gigi is play acting as the toy at the house, she comes across Ursula, who is just this local artist. She's just living in the woods, drawing birds, like going crazy with some awesome painting and everything. In the Japanese version, Ursula is voiced by Minami Takayama, but in the Disney version is Janine Garofalo, and the Game Grumps have a very hilarious Janine Garofalo skit that's the only place I know that name from. I don't know funny. Who Janine Garofalo is, but I know it because of the Game Grumps.
That is really, really funny. I don't know what I would know her from.
She's in What Happened American Summer. Okay, I kind of remember her in that.
Okay. Okay. All right. I've only seen that once. So
that's one of my favorite Paul Rudd characters.
From Wet Hot American Summer. I got you.
Yeah. Just like, what are you doing? I'm writing in my journal. Don't you mean journal? Whatever. I'm not smart like you. It's so stupid. I love it.
Yeah, he can play stupid pretty well.
He really can. But yeah, Kiki.
The other, she meets her, and in fact, Ursula helps her fix the toy because the crows who call her an egg snatcher, they broke it.
Yeah, they really don't like. They don't like Kiki at first,
but they love Ursula.
Which Gigi points out is kind of weird because crows used to be an animal associated with witches in their in this movie.
And who knows with all of the up and down of how our society treated witches, maybe Ursula is from a line of witches that put their powers behind them. So maybe. And that's where her creative enthusiasm comes from. Just making fanfic right now. That's all.
Ursula was a witch. I knew it.
I knew it with a name like Ursula. So Kiki gets depressed after this one big job that interferes with a party for Tombo that she misses. Which she meets that old lady, Madam, who's played by Debbie Reynolds.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah. And then Haruko Kato.
Oh yes, Haruko Kato is from the Japanese, and Barsa is I believe her maid, played by Hiroko Sika, and Edie McClurg. You would recognize her from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and
Carrie.
Yeah, Cheech and Chong's next movie. I just didn't recognize
the voice,
No, I did not. I did not either. But Debbie Reynolds, Sarah had to point out that was Debbie Reynolds for me.
Yeah, I didn't recognize it until you just mentioned it, because then I saw the name and was like, oh yeah, I do actually recognize that name too. Yeah.
So there's this really cute moment in the movie. It's like it really shows how much integrity Kiki has when she goes and helps this woman make this pie that was supposed to be done by the time Kiki got there. But the oven wasn't working. So she helped her build a fire in this very old-fashioned oven. It's a very good, hard-working moment. Really shows what Kiki's able to do in her work ethic, that is. Not like that she's a kitchen witch or anything. She's a flying witch. So she helps her make the pie. She gets it there. She's soaking wet because there was a big storm, and the kid doesn't give a shit. And then she's late. She's late for Tombo's party, and it wouldn't matter anyways because she doesn't have another set of clothes.
And she's also very sick by this point.
Oh yes,
like she just gets into bed. She's just awfully ill.
Yeah,
and I love that moment because it really. And then right after that, as you mentioned, she's depressed.
Right.
And it parallels so perfectly the experience of going to college for in America at least.
Yeah.
Where it's like you get your job, you're excited, you're willing to go the extra mile, you want to show that you can. And so you're doing everything you can to please them, but after a couple years, if you were to go to that delivery at that old lady's house, well, I mean, I don't want to say you specifically, but if I were to, this is how jaded I am right now. Is if I were to go there, I'd be like, oh my god, you don't have the damn pie ready. Okay, fine, I guess I can help you. All right, let's do this. And I would sit there and I'd have some pleasant conversation. I would enjoy it. Right. But then once I get the pie and I'm out and then it starts raining, then I'm just like silently cursing the old lady. I'm like, damn it, if she had the pie ready, I wouldn't be in the fucking rain right now. And then you get to the customer and the customer's shitty about it where she's like, I don't even want this fucking thing. And you're just like, oh my god, I fucking hate you. Like, I hate talking to people. Like, it really resembles that because then you become depressed when your job becomes your life.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what happens to Kiki is her skill, her flying, her being a witch, her delivery kind of becomes her life and she just kind of hates it. After a while she's just kind of depressed.
It was something that she loved and was excited to start doing, but once it became more work, she enjoyed it less. It took the enjoyment out of it for a while.
Yeah.
And Ursula comes back in, and she is like, hey, I think what you have is pretty much artist block. And so she helps her through that, well, just by giving her advice. And that doesn't get her out of this funk, but it does get her thinking about it in a different way. And that brings us back to their relationship with Tombo. Tombo, like we said, loves aviation. He's making his own flying machine. And that's cool. And in the background, there's a Zeppelin that crashes, and it comes down to Kiki to save the day, and I'll leave it there. Because that's a synopsis. Yeah. We did it.
I think that's fine, yeah. Yeah, I really love the relationship with Tombo because as Kiki starts to lose her powers, she starts to develop this, this kind of friendliness with Tombo. They go on a kind of like a date, you can call it that. It's not really, but, where he shows her his aviation machine, his flying bicycle kind of thing, and it's really cool. I love that scene. I love, because, she's struggling with her powers, but she's still having fun. Mm-hmm. She's struggling to even understand Gigi, but Gigi's off with a local cat, getting Twitter pated himself.
Yep.
So, like, I love it. It's like, I don't know, this movie really reflects life in a really good way.
Right.
Because, after she goes through a little bit of depression, it ebbs and flows, or however that saying goes. It comes back around where she it's heartwarming, it's uplifting at the end. You're kind of just like this beautiful moment of being like when it comes to Kiki to save the day, as you said, you're kind of, like, at least I was like kind of off the couch because I don't know if I was exercising or doing what, but I was like standing over the couch like face down, ready to see what was happening. Like, oh fuck, what's going on? Like, is she gonna save him? Like, yeah. It was super exciting.
Well, yeah, I guess it would be for your first time. I mean, I knew what was going to happen, and I am still, like, watching the movie at that point, and it's excited. Right. But, yeah, I can't imagine having watched it for the first time, how that would feel, because it's been a long time since I watched it for the first time. I don't remember.
Yeah. It's still, I don't know, I really enjoyed it. I give it 4 stars. Like,
nice.
It's pretty fucking beautiful. I love Kiki.
Miyazaki, you talented
Miyazaki's
bastard.
great, man. And Isao is great too. It's just that one. I mean, I gave Grave of the Fireflies 4 stars. It's just
I think you did. Yeah,
really fucking sad. This one's not sad.
This
one's
one
like fuck
isn't
yeah.
Sad. This one's great.
Woo-hoo!
It has that madness that we associate with the whole genre. Not
women
genre,
are the future,
studio. And
females
women
rule.
are the future. God damn straight. I love this movie. I have watched it several times. I think it is very well put together. It's also simple for even being a modern set fantasy, you know, and I like it for that, and I give it a face and a half.
Hell yeah, beautiful! Go check it out, everybody. And then as you're checking it out, check out patreon.com/greenandfaceless. No reason, just do it.
No reason. Yeah, just do it. If you don't do it,
is that it?
We'll know. I think that's the episode. Yeah, we'll know. Sadly.
Just like we know what you did last summer, Tina.
Yeah, Tina and Tommy. Gosh, you guys.
Yeah, we can't forget Tommy. Tommy was actually the ringleader. Tina didn't really do too much. It was all Tommy.
Nah. See, I think she was secretly pulling the threads. Yeah.
Oh, oh.
Yeah. I think so. I think Tommy thought he was in charge.
Okay, maybe we don't know everything, Tina and Tommy. You guys can get in the comments and, pitch your side of the story. You know what you did.
We'll start the trial next episode. Until then.
Yeah. I'm the Green Traveler from Gorsh.
And I am the Faceless Leon. Safe travels and good night. Green and Faceless on the Couch is a proud production of FictionWorks 19. Are you a fan of the show? Feel free to contact us at greenandfacelessfans@gmail.com or visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/greenandfaceless. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, or rate us on Apple Podcasts. Thank you so much for listening.